Utie oha echi ponkno. Needs FM.
America and got a strategy that enabled us in 1 year to increase enrollment by 150,000 without building a new school block. And that is what a determined president allowed you to do. The political risk was huge, but he said, go ahead with your knowledge, support your minister, get it done. And we got it done. And we introduced a double track system in Ghana. And as I said, got 150,000 students to go to school. Then we have to look at curricular reform just like you are doing. It seems like Ghana and Kenya are twins, and I've come here to realize that most of the things you are doing, we're also doing. And as I talk about access, you've done fantastically well. I look at your numbers, it's amazing. Then you are looking at quality through the reform of your curriculum. You see, the olden days where the teacher expected you to just memorize facts to him or her and you are the best student, it doesn't pertain anymore. If you do that, you are not going to change your country. Yeah, they will memorize it to you, but they walk into that company and the CEO is not expecting them to memorize and they fumble. The Brookings Institution recently did a study and it said that we, the developing countries, if we have to catch up with the rest of the world, the developed nation, is going to take 120 years. And they recommended that the countries that are going to do well are not the ones who are going to wait till they finish access and look at quality and then relevance. They said the countries that are going to do well are the ones that will tackle the issues of access, quality, and relevance at the same time. And that is what they call leapfrogging inequality. You can look at the book, Leapfrogging Inequality. Kenya is on the right track to leapfrog inequality. And based on what I've seen and what you are doing, it's not going to take you 120 years. It's going to take you shorter than that. The Asian tigers that we talk about, it didn't take them that long because they did everything concurrently. In South Korea, at the time of independence, Ghana had more money than them, and probably Kenya also had more money than them. How did they do better than us? They did it concurrently. As the economy was improving, they were investing heavily in education. And out of that, they were able to catch up with developed nations. Our GDP in Ghana, gross domestic per capita, was higher than South Korea. Recently, South Koreans came to Ghana with a group of investors, their Exim Bank, and they were going to give Ghana a loan. They showed us 3 graphs at the Ministry of Education. The first graph was the GDP of Ghana per capita compared with that of South Korea in 1960. Ghana was way ahead of them. They showed us the second graph, which actually looked at where we are now. Per capita income of Ghana and South Korea, and of course, they are way ahead of us. And they asked us the question. I was the chair of the meeting. They said, why do you guys think we are now better than you? And of course, I was scratching my head in shame. Somebody comes to your country and asks you, why am I better than you? And then they showed us the final graph. The final graph was the gross tertiary enrollment ratio of South Korea and Ghana compared. That is, if you take the youth between 18 to 23, how many of them are in some kind of tertiary education, whether it's nursing, teaching, any other thing at the tertiary level? Ghana was 16.19% and South Korea is 93.6%. So they said, this is why we are here to give you a loan so that you can build a university. And I promised myself that the next 60 years, I don't want my grandson to sit in a meeting like that. I want to tell you one thing. I landed at the airport and I saw the airplanes and beautiful ones. We don't have a national airline. You guys do. And you say it's the pride of Africa, and truly you are the pride of Africa. Because it really made me proud to see that another African country has all these airlines. But also what occurred to me was that if I looked at an example of Brazil, the Embraer aircraft, it was a university that partnered with MIT and invented it. So my challenge, and I met with my colleague, the Secretary for Education, I said, Mr. Secretary for Education, when can we create aerospace academies for students in primary 1 all the way to high school? Because that is what is done in America. When I'm building schools, We are not waiting for the students to get to the university for them to understand aeronautical sciences. There are schools from KG to high school focused on aeronautical sciences, tapping talents of students who are interested in this field across the country. And when we do that in Kenya, you will just not fly airlines, but you are going to have children who will be excited about transforming this country to do through the aerospace industry, and your children are going to build the airplanes that you'll be flying. And I tell you, I know what I'm talking about, because in America, it will take me about 50% of my effort in the classroom as a mathematics teacher to get the student to pay attention to me. I go to Ghana, I walk into the classroom, the student will stand up for me, and they will not sit until I tell them to sit. The children of Africa are ready to learn. And if we don't get them to be the best in the world, it's not their fault, it's our fault. And that is why I want all stakeholders to rally behind your great president. His vision is clear, and I'm not saying it as a politician, I'm saying as an education expert, as someone who has a PhD in education policy and administration from University of Southern California, and somebody who has built schools in the US, that there's something great about what we have embarked upon.
Okunkunim kofe jinane so akora padi kokwe hu ededa mana chire no ne adeshiamra kroma dansidi fo mehwe kasemu chira awawade esumu apai mo hire nyakwa pie awawasem nie we die bi si pen ne
Neat FM Neo. Brand new.
The car no banner.
Brand new.
The car no banner.
Brand new.
The car no banner.
Brand new.
Ready. The car no banner.
Brand new.
The car no banner.
Brand new.
The car no banner.
Brand new.
Brand. The car no banner.
Brand new. Bread ye wachina kunyao. Inshiraka neat etiefu nyina. Ozioma Adakabre ni oribo baby.
The car no banner.
Yesi okwai tware suo ena suo tware kwan panyin ni hwan a yebo kwan betu asuo Ozioma Adakabre Frimpong Manso wagina konya babiewu
Neat 100.9 FM so any na ene eye Monday November 11 House of Folk Day 2019 na ene esanya Remembrance Day eye Poppy Day and na yemba na won say yeba poppy no so ye kokko ani tuntum and na kwabramafo so ye kokko ani tuntum and na mic so ye kokko ani tuntum internet dey Remembrance Day pa na ye fami Adakabre Mahmudu Osioma na me man ti dwumadie na meeting ho chia me de bremu panyinu kwadwoda me ado na ahyehye a wode masi adwaso a me de ehu nsem e de eba mageri osai agyeman ebo ne chidom maba wa mienu na akua adwamena na akua sabia wo so ehwe se bibia ebekoso yie na fe ye de aseda ama frema abankro yabedihye ono so wasimara michi mafa technical production say Facebook any Instagram any other social media handles ohwe atoto ede ama yene enunti enako Facebook on Neat 100.9 FM na we are active na we do comments aba then you stay connected na yene wo adi dwuma ahwe ede abom sa so ena yensan fasida emfa ema amansan chia me kwabena mafo ono democrat awodo na yensa ka na face utum se yakenkan mu fitia nopa sabre we say de ono ena oba betimu asan ede ama yene ansa ene de aseda ede ama engineering group achuagbo ai face so nkwatia ko na jare na naboaje adasankroma worker ni nyina ehwe se engineering mobati yanka na pere facilities so de big solo na ono so sini na so na dada etato na face so no Godfrey yaje atum friend you plana na mail society na face so no DJ Mapuna DJ Bosco omo nyina ehwe amia facilities akoso na yamfa sedan fama African cream mackerel asedan koma obapa sardine asedan koma obapa mackerel asedan koma hunchon capsules asedan koma X and Y granules asedan koma king tablet asedan koma araba bazen asedan ko emfa emma almighty Mr. K enu achire no nso na yenhwe enoma egu apaso was a pre-budget briefing by the minority caucus in parliament and name Rashobejafo eye wade ye wodonkuma mu se ye baba ye budget se wuku ada e de omatena se e de nsem bi kakra twen adwene si noma bi so ebeboa yen ama bi ebetimi ate budget no ase also help build a progressive prosperous Ghana Akufo-Addo to churches President of the Republic and see ayen kwala sorry Apostolic Church of Ghana and kwala sorry Wotema Community 5 na woko ya na nu disem no eno sorry ahodo emwa emiem yen chichire Ghana ekon enkankoro na yen chichire Ghana ye yedie ebebemu sana wakade ya chire sorry no stability development highlights of your government a Chinese vice premier and a worker chen another than Akufo-Addo say Ghana begina pinting na pesum puntu so awbeye na yebede na die no eno na ye twe adwene ede asiso. Also, you said we are sitting on money, so why are we broke? Former President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, and Wobuso. So, Nana don't go to what I want to see. Ghana was the Ghana war. No, I see the engineer here. And it's a pity. All my projects have come to a standstill under Akufo-Addo. President Mahama and Ogusua was saying, Eken. I say, Emu Yakakra. Say, Numa wa ya who do nyina when you know, and they nina to a paint. Ama yentimi enwie ensem ene government taking us for granted. We strike on next week Monday over conditions of service. I free say Dr. Fufri Adwuma Ghana Medical Association aban bia ntimi enya condition of service emfa ema wo mo and say over the years no aban ahodo etoto say yebenya condition of service na kakra beka aban bia ene nei kakra beka MPP aban say condition of service no enwie peye eno nti efri dwada ekro no doctors force abeti atwa biem na ye utimi kakra say doctor for beti atwa no hu say aye asembia e wo ho wetimi WhatsApp here on 05060000909 05060000909 empenfo about them one say Francis Ebomensa MPP Greater Accra Regional Communications Director obeba dem a Ora Erica J and this Bono Regional Communications Deputy Officer onso beba dem a cabinet niye and na 11th November the whole world
of 11
November 11
wow
Accra has ofokofo na and na poppy day so 1918 and that is the first world war 17 million persons and ewu ye na 1918 no and 11th November e ko wie say afede ye nyina ye gitun mu say ye nyai ekon no nti eja sa akon no the agreement na omo san ye no between allies no and Germany omo friend armistice nti sa agreement no enemy na 1918 yebeja war yo na 1915 and a Major John McGrath or a Canadian surgeon or a doctor and I watch a poem and a poem no na also the Flanders Field from the point of view of the dead soldiers. So she said the Flanders Field a soldier for wood daho a soldier for wood daho a soldier for wood daho not just a poppy story no emu ya papa just say yes a poem na can between Belgium and France abroad the red poppy flowers grew na just say asie ye wa ya kum nipa asie wo mo no na ni nyina ye koko sie ye na poem no kire say wuo ene asie ye na kire na damfu bi na friend Lieutenant Alexis na say soldier su ukoma second lieutenant na via promote to call lieutenant na promote to call captain na promote to call major so from major now call colonel Uprikana na woko brigadier so ahunu
wafa wonim sanda minim say ya kase obi ya flight lieutenant ya obi a wotu eru prefer bankumo aha na minim say obi a wotu eru pre ya wo de fa ne bankum so wono na ya flight lieutenant ena na minim say wo flight lieutenant nso wo ho sana ni nyina ntisa post Wafanti santu kwa bebrebe ya kun first world war second world war ekum nipa bebre ku ankofo ye kum nipa bebre no ɛdeɛ bɛɛ paa ne yɛnya firim
sɛ ne nyinaa ne sɛ yɛ na gyina leaderfoɔ so Germany okay leader bɛka obi te sɛ ɛyɛ Hitler
Adolf Hitler
ɛyɛ wokɔ Russia so abɛka Joseph Stalin so ahono ɛna woba Britain so abɛka ɛyɛ Churchill so ahono
Winston Churchill no wɔfo wɔ bi a no wɔde ntokwa na ba wɔn
wɔyɛ wartime leader so
ɛna ne din yɛ me da saa no
na n'ani ɛden papa
ɛne ne din yɛ
ɛna kyerɛ sɛ woba France so a de Gaulle mo so ɛhyɛ hɔnom General de Gaulle ne hwene
ɔfa yako asɛ nneɛma dodo ntokwa no bi so koraa wɔ hɔnom a yɛnte aseɛ yɛkoraa yɛnim sɛ deɛ ntokwa no fada baeteɛ ɛno a ne sɛ yɛte yɛa ne yɛdi so
first wɛbrɛ yɛde me nana akwasi achampɔn kɔɔ bi
weyada
ɔkɔ Bɛma na afiri asoso kɔ Bɛma ɛnyɛ
wɔfo wɔbaeɛ
wɔsan ba bɛdi akonnwa koraa wɔ bɛsia ase
weyada
sɛ saa tete no ɔkɔ sogya ba saa ne yɛpɛ obi amena di akonnwa so wei na akɔ sogya ba a wobɛtumi de discipline abɛkuro mu hɔ ɛtitititi mpanifoɔ no pii no na ɔyɛ world veteran na kyɛ sɛ yɛabɔ akonnwa de ama no
ɔfa ntokwa deɛ enti wokae Lucky Dube a wɔse I am not saying this because I am a coward but I'm thinking of the lives that we lose every time we fight.
Sir.
Killing innocent people, women and children, who doesn't know about the governance, who doesn't know about the war. Your mother didn't tell you the truth, and my father didn't tell me the truth. Nobody know what is wrong and what is right. How long this gonna lead? Because we come so far. Ofa ediam faso pa na yenya frim. Ya kunkum ya hu innocent akwala no kura ubisa ne se we hu gold da we hu bi da. Koko ya de we hu bi da. Ubisa ne se what is governance? But I be tie kura ase. Edi besim de kura we minister of finance we nim ne din. Ubisa me even vice president impo mane nya nwanwa so obi tie kura ase we nim ne din. Enso sankofo be suffer for nothing. Emma pimfo ni ekum nipa ni ese ya kwa kum nipa ade emfaso ne yenya. Yenya emfaso dia.
Ekon ho courses nyina ho. Uko University of London King's College ya war studies wo.
We yada. Ya kwa yenya emfaso bia.
Emfaso ne se moko ne ese kuro no na ya rebuild kuro no. Enti obi ti se ohwe Germany say ya o man ko am yanse ekuru na nkanya say ya rebuild Germany ya why fi English for na ntimi an rebuild um kuru because there ben na ama hono ma yanko Ghanaian parliament
yo
na finance minister who's the Canadian na come can budget April because financial year na start April na ekokoba say there be yanka budget no the November before the preceding year na subsequent year na budget no honum
say afenum ni yebedi scan
exactly and a budget no so nyina gina ho ma sika dodo a wo man no begie ene sika so a yebese no na yatete de afrim na yekọ Ghanaian parliament minority for no etimi aye briefing bi na honorable member of parliament for Ketu South na member of the finance committee of the Ghanaian parliament honorable Franklin Fiave Fifi Kwete now Obepoto. Honorable Kwete, good afternoon.
My brother, long time no see.
Yes. Good afternoon. And how are you today?
I'm very good, my brother.
Right. We are told of pre-budget briefing by the minority. What is it about?
We over the last 3 years, we've always had an engagement with the media and through the media with the people of Ghana ahead of every budget. So this year, which is going to be the very final budget of the finance minister. In fact, let's say that this is going to be the very final budget of the Akufo-Addo government because they are definitely leaving power after this. We had an engagement again just to bring out a few concerns even before the budget got presented on Wednesday.
What are the few naughty areas you want us to focus on?
What we wanted the country to appreciate is that we believe that, especially when you are dealing with an economy, you are dealing with numbers, which numbers need to be trusted by the people of the country and also by all the international people who are monitoring us, different countries, the World Bank, the IMF. It is very important for the government and for that matter, the finance minister, to do everything possible to show truthfulness and to show credibility. We've had major issues with a number of what we call gymnastics that the finance minister has been using, which gymnastics amount to literally deceiving what you call the people of the country relating to the numbers that are coming out. So in this particular presentation, we took time to elaborate a number of those things that we feel are not good for the country. We also use the opportunity to let the president of the country appreciate that in his high office, certain untruthful statements relating to our economy should not be encouraged. We explained, for example, when the president recently told the world that somehow in 2016, the fiscal deficit that he inherited stood at 9.3%. When he actually does know, okay, that the numbers that have been reported even by his own finance minister, even in the recent media review, show that we did not have 9.3%. They're much lower because if you are using real-based figures, you need to be consistent. But the president deliberately decides to be using old figures when actually he's using figures that are new to talk about his own performance. That is the kind of, shall I call it, unfortunate tendency that the people of Ghana do not require coming from the highest office holder of the land. The president must be trustworthy, he must be credible, he must be truthful, and we believe that we need to bring some of those issues to the forefront.
Honorable member, beyond the deception the minority talked about, with the specific example of the inappropriate use of the rebase figure of 9.3%, is there any other evidence to suggest that there's been a concrete, deliberate attempt to deceive the Ghanaian public with the figures?
Yeah, we brought a few as well to show. Let me give you a typical example. At the end of 2016, the debt stock of the country, and which has subsequently been corroborated by, shall I call it, the true record, as you can find, especially if you check with the true record as we have in the Controller and Accountant General and so on, and which subsequently in the Public Account Committee had to point to the finance minister. He has to make sure he corrects those misleading reports that he brought out. At the end of 2016, the total debt of the country stood at 120 billion cedis. The finance minister deliberately used the exchange rate of March 2017 in order to create the impression that the total debt stock at the end of 2016 was actually 122 billion. So that was actually what you call a deliberate strategy, which actually is a deceitful strategy, in order to create the impression that the debt stock that he had made at the end of 2016 was higher. And we as a minority have had occasion to point that to him, that he needed to correct that record. He needed to stop deceiving the people of Ghana concerning the record that he made at the time he took over. But up to now, he has not had the courage to be able to do so. The Public Account Committee has pointed the same thing out to him. He still hasn't had the courage to do what is right. So what we did today was to again bring that issue to the forefront. But listen, if you are the finance minister, the world expects that nothing short of truthful numbers should be coming from you. If you are capable of lying relating to the numbers of your own economy, it means that you cannot be trusted for anything. The world cannot trust you when you come out with any other figures. So that's one of the issues, for example, we brought out again today. Another issue that we brought today had to do with, for example, the way the finance minister have deliberately sought to create false impression using, for example, the financial bailout. The amount of money that we are using to be able to do this financial bailout absolutely must reflect in the deficit numbers. You can't, in one breath, create impression that somehow you are using money to take care of what you call companies, like the banks and so on, and yet that debt is not reflecting in the in the deficit of the country. So we told the finance minister, listen, it is important to show consistency. The reason why this is really important is because actually the IMF, the World Bank, and all the financial markets do know that the deficit that the finance minister is talking about is not the correct deficit, because they, in their books, account for a much higher deficit. But the finance minister, in order to continue peddling the lie and creating impression that somehow the deficit that he is having is much lower, continue to do this gymnastics. And the whole aim of it is simply to come out and tell the people of Ghana our numbers are good numbers, when it is that you actually are hiding figures and creating false impression, which is very, very, very dangerous. There is any other position you can toy with. If you're talking about the finances of a country, the world expects that the numbers you come up with must be factual, must be truthful. There should no gymnastics about them. And unfortunately, that's exactly one of the issues again. Similar thing has happened, for example, with the payment that had to do with what you call the independent power producers. The treatment of fees as far as the deficit is concerned is exactly the same thing that the finance minister has done. So you can see a systematic pattern of trying to put out false figures in order to be able to come boasting that our figures are great, our figures are wonderful, when it is really that you are just playing gymnastics in order to deceive the people. Now, why this is important, my brother, is because you see what? Trustworthy.
We will come there, but then we want to find out more about the impact on the economy if the government need to rely on inappropriate or faulty figures. Yane Honorable Member of Parliament for Ketu South, Ura Franklin Fiave Fifi Pete, and Etwetwe Enkomono, a member of the Finance Committee. Or say abanya yane tuma we na Kufuado abeno, unino kure magana for na no many pini say ye GDP kurano 9.3% abra entenesa one can ukre wom say a rebase figure ne ade afi so ye dead stock or say wakwako farm match figures the above assistance say 120 million 120 billion abra wasn't ko kan ukre wom ode kire yen afi so sika ye de akwakọ gigi bank bailout no so no omuma ne reflect to official records na fe ye pese ebusa no say we nyina no kamben so na eha oman no. What are the negative effects of banding faulty figures in order to present a rosy picture of the figures?
You see, as I said earlier, leadership is all about trustworthiness. If you cannot even tell the truth, even about your numbers, exactly that's what you have. You have exactly the same thing which we are seeing all over the country today, where the government is boasting about how great the economy is doing, when you can see, for example, the state of roads in our country, in a total state of disrepair. Why? Because you are not being truthful. Instead of being honest about the true situation, you are busy using gymnastics to deceive people. But the reflection in the real day-to-day living of the people is the opposite. So you can see, for example, the state of roads in our country, the total state of disrepair. I was telling the people, the last time I saw this massive state of disrepair of roads in Ghana, that would be, somewhere in the region, somewhere in 1981. Where before PNDC came into office. I've not seen this systematic level of disrepair that we see today, because you are not telling the truth, and the real state of the economy will be shown. The real state of the economy will be shown by the amount of filth you see all over Accra today. For the president that actually came, claiming that you're going to make Accra the cleanest capital of in Africa, what you see today is a complete reflection of the opposite. Why? Because you are lying to the people. You are not being honest with the numbers. But you cannot lie about the real state. So the real state will continue to show what it's showing. You can see, for example, the complete what you call hardship that is engulfed this country today. The level of suffering that is engulfing the country. I'm not saying this is the first time any hardship has happened, but compared to all the trumpet that is being blown about the numbers being great, Ghana's economy has never been this good. If you see the level of hardship, the job loss that has become virtually the order of the day. The increased cost of living. The high cost of living that we are seeing today. You can see exactly what is going on in our various districts, where virtually very little is happening. You promise $1 million for every constituency, and you go into this constituency today, the thing you can see is KVIP being constructed. KVIP, which was being constructed by President Kufuor, who used HIPIC funds to construct KVIP. Today, KVIP has become what it is Ghana must celebrate in our districts and our municipalities. from a government that promised every constituency $1 million. So, my brother, you can see really the problem is that when you actually decide to use deception and lies, what it is that you will be exposed, and that exposure is coming through what is happening in the day-to-day, what you call conditions of our people. I mean, contractors everywhere, you can see the level of crime because their monies have been locked up for several years, no hope, and then some of them really are being what you call shortchanged. They create means by which some bank would discount their money. I mean, people that have worked for this country that you owe, and previous government have always made sure they make full payment to them. Today, under this very what you call forced government, they have to literally go to some bank for the bank to discount sometimes as much as 14 to almost 20% of their money. It's something you owe them that you're supposed to pay them. You are discounting because you feel that they are in need and they are desperate for their money, so you are taking advantage of them. But that's exactly what happens when you continue to lie, when you don't have the courage to tell the truth. You know, so we are bringing these issues not just in terms of talking about numbers, but how those numbers are actually bringing the real state of what you call contradiction.
Rather, we would want to find out why do you choose to come out with this briefing ahead of the budget?
No, I've told you that consistently. I mean, since 2017, we've always had an engagement with the public through the media ahead of every budget. So this is not a new thing we've done. We've done it 2017, 2018, 2019. I mean, consistently we've done so. So it's not like a new thing at all. And the reason why we do so is simply because we want to give our perspectives in order to be able to let the country prepare their mind towards what it is that the government will be coming out with. Because that helps the country to be able to, I mean, compare exactly what they are being told by the officials and what we believe to be the hidden state of the country that they don't really want the country to get to know.
Right. So what should we as citizens expect in the coming budget in the minorities' perspective?
We as citizens should appreciate that when it is that our friends come with their typical slogan, it's exactly what it is. It's just a mere slogan. When you hear them shout $1 million constituency per every, $1 million per every constituency, they should understand it's just empty slogans. You understand? That's what you call cosmetic slogan. When it comes shouting one district, one district, one factory, it's the same empty slogan. You understand? Basically, what they do instead of establishing real factories in the various districts as they promised, that they will use the resources available in those various districts and be able to establish a new factory in all those places. They've gone about what you call begging companies that have been in existence sometimes 20 years for them to put billboards of one district, one factory. Again, because of the same Nancy system of governance, which really has to do with just trying to deceive the people. You understand? So when they hear them, for example, talk about one village, one dam, they should understand that one village, one dam has become a shenanigan that is being what you call discredited all over. You go into the northern part of Ghana, everybody does know that it's just a complete shenanigan. They are using it to throw dust in the eyes of the people. So people should appreciate that. Listen, this is a government that in opposition claim that macroeconomic figures do not matter. You remember when this country was having 33 long months of single-digit inflation? What did you hear them say? It doesn't matter. What is single-digit inflation? The only thing that matters is the cost of goods in our market, the prices of various goods and services, and those prices are going up. Today, this same government expects the people of Ghana not to remember those same things they said, but the people of Ghana should somehow be impressed because they are shouting that they've got inflation that is at the low. You understand? So the people of Ghana must prepare themselves in order to not be deceived by throwing about these figures, and a lot of those figures, as we point to you, coming from the finance minister who is always quoting Bible and creating impression that he's the greatest Christian, but going about what you call doing gymnastics and deceiving people with numbers. The people of Ghana should be prepared so that they are not deceived.
I am through with you, but then, as usual, the show is interactive, and then we do receive messages from our listeners. And one particular listener in the United States would want me to procure your view as to the 51 or the 54 persons who are supposed or who adapt to be family, friends, relatives of the president involved in cronyism, nepotism, and favoritism. Do you have any view of that?
No, I think my party have spoken about that very amply. And normally, I wouldn't want to repeat too much. I think Sami Jemfi has done an excellent job. So I would rather want the gentleman to, just take time and listen to Sami Jemfi again, because I think everything that has to be said has been said. Again, to be honest, it's the same thing I've talked about really, which is really has to do with the double talk of the people who are in power today. Yesterday, the same thing was wrong, but today somehow they justify it. They tell you today that, listen, all those people are qualified, and it doesn't really matter if everybody has to come from one family. As long as they are qualified, that's great. But somehow that same principle did not apply yesterday. You understand? So when you have a situation where you have a group that actually will condemn something yesterday and today justify the same thing, it simply means that group does not have to be in office, because leadership, as I said, is all about credibility. It's all about consistency.
But would you imagine that when Fifi Kwete was nominated as a minister at the appointments committee, he was questioned as to certain pronouncements, and then he said he was in the realm of propaganda. And for that matter,
I never said that.
Okay, what did you say then?
I never said that. They were asking about things that were published by a newspaper, and I told them that a newspaper publication is not the same as official pronouncement that was made by me as the person who was in charge of communication. So I never at any point said I was in a realm of propaganda. That must be maybe either a false recollection or maybe somebody's imagination.
Would you ever imagine Sami Jemfi could one day be nominated as a minister, and some of these comments he would then not be able to back it up and say that, oh, it was a publication somewhere?
No. Everything that he has said officially will remain something he has to stand by. And I stood by every single official thing that I've done. But if a newspaper published something, you want to attribute it to me, that will be different. But every single thing that I have said, as an executive of my party, speaking on behalf of my party, I stood by. And not one time did I ever have to back away from any official pronouncement I had made.
Right.
So I expect Sami Jemfi to stand by what he says. And of course, every human being sometimes can get it wrong. And if you get it wrong, you should have the honor to say, yes, I get it wrong. Even CNN gets it wrong sometimes. BBC gets it wrong. I'm sure, Adakabre, you have made a few errors yourself.
Yes.
It's just man enough to say, listen, on this call, I got it wrong. But the things that Sami Jemfi has said, I believe, are very well researched. And I think the public themselves can verify and know that, listen, what is happening now is simply shameful. It's sad. It's unfortunate. We've never seen anything like that. Kwame Nkrumah never did this. Even Bustia didn't do this. President Kufuor didn't do this. Hillary Liman didn't do this. Rawlings never did this. Prof. Mills didn't do this. President Mahama never did this. What we are seeing today is simply the lowest of the low, and that is unfortunate. Because honestly, you know what? President Akufo-Addo has had the greatest opportunity. Why? Because in terms of experience, I would say that he's one person who moved into office after a vast level of experience. At almost a mature age of about 70, you enter into government. You've had such a rich experience behind you. And for him to really take things to this level, reduce governance to this level, it's just unfortunate. That totally is not good.
Quite interesting listening to you, Honorable Member of Parliament for Ketu South. Thank you so much.
My brother, let's find time and meet again.
Certainly.
I don't see you at all. So
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, sure.
Honorable Member of Parliament for Ketu South and a member of the Finance Committee of the Ghanaian Parliament, Mr. Franklin Fiave Fifi Kwete. Ana otene in the cabinet.
Offer.
No assessing.
Yo. Etiafo nkoma wo fatote ya no na me summarize no. Me bono tofa ketu ebi wo wa fam ebi nso wo no mu amfam. Enti muti sana modi ateme. Esansa brofo no anya me kuro mu kasa. Na wa fada kabreti anu bisa ne sa kwaba. Ya tisa minority fo budget ni nyamba nso modi ka kura ayensi emudie bi anu ono so ba anu wase onokura mete unkate na wo hote se wase ne hoye eye ni jesi yensa aka wase han anu wateso onokura ni nyame yanim nie yedin kan afre ensamtafo yedin kan de nsem bi ato omanim budget no eba no na sa finance minister yi ani abenya wote akonya so yi eda bia wo mbewuri di budget bia no wo muden trekes ene wa gadre star bi no ma be bom futre gu Ghana fo anim ene ne pese ya katra Ghana fo so mumu omani nawo na budget no eba no se nim ena Adakabre bi sa sentim consensus be na mu rezi ye and was you concerns in Ibini say, so we say economy no ankasa, said the tear. Afei, no messy be a you want to Johnny figures be a bubos one. Ayana and Ukraine said the name, a son say, and young quan yenya. International we are see a mine 8 World Bank 40 IMF 40 entia samna wo kano sanya no kromu nyina wo mu but wo mu ni sa ba we onya no kredifo ba ko kra wo ba bebo mfuture twantro e de egu Ghana fo anim enu nti no wo mu kata Ghana fo so wo mu nya kwantie na we wo ba be kase tete de no a na finance minister mintu mire ntrese kakra eye na no oba ya tro ba ko a wotaye wose 2016 physical the physical deficit na ye 9.3% 2016 wo enu sei eye ntro kase pa wo betaye sanse enya sa kura na asam no te enu sei ya de ba ko ena da kabresa ba bia no obi sanse nti beyond that no eyin fa bia ne sanse en wose ba konso 2016 debt no enu sisi wakaka say 122 billion instead so baka say 120 billion no en wote bi ka ho enti kwa records mu a controller and accountant general de da ho no finance minister on kan sa no wakwa kan different no wakota ntro enti asra ne say on kan kura no nya ntro bebrebe no a aya wota no afei ba akubie financial bailout Bank of Ghana banks wo gugu ni say enu nso sika bi no aba be kan watra no de ato ho IMF fo deficit ya wo kan bi bia kwaso bia wo munim enti wo be create impression say all is well na sente sa afei sika bi aseso otua de ma independent power producers won na Adakabre say wan ye beba ho bat ye mra hansa anu afasa ate no ba anu obisa ne say enti dia wo buboso anyina no emudia hin na nokuredie bi nim anu wasi o tese se wo hye sa leadership wo yankasa wo trase wo mu anyaye wo mu kasa hwesoro na wanhwe fom aboa bi ba beka wo se bibi te se wo se economy no eye ya ye de wo wa ye ho enso the reality ni se wakwan akwan no kura be yiwa ma enti wo be tantro bebre se o bibia ye kama akwan kura na wunya sika nyei eduru bebi usi o mama nkran ye Cleaner City wudi atu ani hwa nkran se ye Cleaner City a mwankasa munka the reality no be yiwa ma afa wo kasa economy na ye kama wudi a level of hardship ekomu adin kofo afa shan kofo mu hwiri wo matuma $1 million wose wudi kwa constituency yati ya wose wudi si toilet president kofo wadi hipik sika ne city efi wodi $1 million ya de ma constituency no na wodi sisi toilet enti ya no kra say contractor fo ayenti omuka wodi a level of crime ekoso mekasa meka mintumi nkanwie ene of Adakabre bi sanse enti de muka ye nyina no ede na mo pesa Ghana fo hu ene wo se de pesa Ghana fo hu ni say ntro na aban no ba bedi de bia that the empty slogan wo be se ba be kan sama kase but the reality ni say enya sa na tie bibi papa bi enim one district one factory nko one village one dam nko koku anansi story finance minister ba be quote to bible akeka kan samu akase sa so that the ya wafa
ken kwa with me I was up here on 0506000909 0506000909 as I come African cream mackerel as I come Obapa sardine, as I come Obapa mackerel, oncho capsules, as I come X and Y granules, hen tablet, Araba bazen, nafiso as I come Almighty Mr. Kill. Young Sanko Ghanaian Parliament, na yani Deputy Majority Chief Whip, and a member of the Finance Committee, a honorable member of Parliament for Pandai, a Ura Matthew Nyindam, na Yankonko Jie, Timuaye Bimpo Hoy, Ede Emma, a minority for press conference here or my yana honorable member of Parliament for Pandai Yamwaha
Yoso Adakabre
now leader humpo ete saying every
Erade me hoya huna me hu wache
enokre says ya de eja oti dambai regional capital de manya ben pandaya enti pandai eba under north east anak pandai eba under oti anak pandai eba under savannah
Pandai or northern region.
oh says ya mako kan northern region what said the nakanum na traditionally muni gonja for etwemu ana
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to meet him. Say, me, I'm one. You know, one. And see a very actual.
okay. Yo, minority ahead of the budget airpay. Etimi a brief for my ma. Almost one my ma when you mape be a woman conco penny and we are some dadano and casatentine, Yamiani, be go to Bible, go to Nkusiaga. Yan dang.
Yo, Adakabre, I mean, chair at year 4, not my chair production team near Obia or Studio Honor. Na machia minority for so me tie fifi kwete obubroso aka ni obetimi aka ena ma kabima mem kabia mambo na de no obi a kire na adwen sabi oboni bia ni nti wano me kwanya ni so me kire ma adwen Adakabre nyame adoma sabi o enche Wednesday finance minister obeba parliament na wabeka enyuma yedie his excellency na Nadu Akufo-Addo Odi on behalf of the people of Ghana. So you to me no omona edi share or non until the details and the figures and all those things nyame adoma one is the what the baba be trigger. Na me tie me nua fifi kweti o ka se bebre na me share free akwan ho as me meka na me nim se Ghana fo nyina so nim se akwan e ya dia ye nyina eda yakoma so his excellency na Nadu Akufo-Addo na ni so di hunu ne say Ghana kwan ye be ye kwan no say be ya kwan no ye nyina be nam so na atimi ama adwumadi a yedi no atimi akọ anim na me de pa say ye de ye nka enkyere manolfo ye nka nkyere NDC for say sabio omo de omo ada ye nka na sa ye de be ka se kwan no dodo na anye ye gitum se kwan dodo na ye wo man mu no nye ye be ye ho a pisika asiesi sa kwan na ye nyina yetie his excellency John Dramani Mahama tama na owo abemu a we president na do oye candidate e ka say akwan nye no o ka kire na do say sabio na do tika mu a na wada nti won hu bibia ye de ye nka na sa enam say na do nim say we Ghana ni e na Ghana for di tumi a hye nsa e na on ka say we president da bia we di helicopter betu ananti wiem one day on fact kwan his excellency na Nadu Akufo-Addo da bia what in kamu of kwan na bia so a what kwan so especially that kwan ya the Eastern Corridor Road sabio o fa sa kwan so make sure say kwan anka say would be 30 minutes better no would be 2 hours better his excellency na Nadu Akufo-Addo what kamu what the obre Brenna nipa dasani bia say so obra o fa sa kwan mo no o fa sa kwan so na onim say wanya sa de na Ghana for on 60 kwan no Ghana for nti kwan no ye be 60 ye dem say kwan nye nti no so wasi obi dada obi a so bi obi ni ne kore a obi ka sama enimu a ene na his excellency John Dramani Mahama de nko manyi mu nka say o kasa biom because atro a wadi no edoso eno no enkwada nchen Adakabre ene sisi meni ni nyina atimi na finance committee enche bia na IMF for buy omo buy and they credited Ghana the path na yet this economy no economy sisi was there omo busa questions some person busa nyina but they told them say the work that we are doing as a government records any indicators na ewo hono they are showing very positive and then sisi say yano yen kanokore dear no one can say, one can say, IMF. And when they were going to IMF, one can say they didn't have credibility. They were going to IMF to be able to get credibility. No, because only credibility, and I just say, Chimokramin, to me, the way I met it, which is only there, you didn't be great. Or can be Obianfa. Just only, I don't know how to put it in fee. Only credibility. So they went to IMF to be able to get credibility. Today, many will say His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo Ken Oforiata, the leader of economic management team, His Excellency Mahmoud Bawumia, we have worked Ghana out of IMF. When I know any credibility, I'm called IMF. I said, yeah, Baba, yeah, you're free. The free IMF. No, oh, Baba, catch and say, said you know, young candle. If you chance them with ya, na this is Nipana, said you, Omaka, some winner, none of crab in the womb. Adakabre, economy, yeah, you can want some, you can want some, you can want some. Eh, Baba, fine economy, you know, the inflation. It is true, say, a man for the brave debate, say, oh, and your inflation, and your interest rate, and your win, except you, ya brabo ma some yes, I admit. Me can't say me admit ya, na me boa. But say you, say, oh, be fifty, na sabe one ma of fear no fapem, anya dia, and ya dia if you know bit me. In this are economic indicators, no. Yes, people work there, but I just 1 year, sabe you. Adena wo pese beba obotum no kana wo pese beba obotum entimi mba obotum. Inflation was 15%, and now we say inflation is just a little above 9%. And then the same economy and I can want some no that economy no they were growing and grew almost 3 point something, almost 3.2, 3.5, and then the same economy is growing averagely by 7.5%. And then the same economy and His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Otiswa now I cancel teacher training colleges allowances. No, it is the same economy, and His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo Eltiso and all teacher trainees allowance. The same economy, and now John Mahama Otiso necessary training colleges allowances or cancel. You know, it is the same economy His Excellency Nana Addo is sitting on it today, and all necessary training colleges allowances. Adakabre, yeba bemu, me can't say we nama tsunama candidium. Say, Yana said you're free northern region. Kwame Nkrumah ye free secondary school. Ye Yamuko school. Yaba bedru baby ye tree. Kwame Nkrumah ye you fee that. And then His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo Mreso. Ye northern region, ye one region pet. And then we are talking about 16 regions. And Akwalabia go school free. Free. Kwame Nkrumah Mreso ye one region pet. Ye you fee no. And then His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The same economy and John Mahama Tiswa won't mean Nkwala school fees. The same economy Nanado is giving every single child in Ghana free secondary school education. Then you come and tell me that economy is not doing well. That president is not doing well. And then health sector is a very important sector, very very critical to everybody because the NHIA it was collapsing. And then go and find out the successful story about the NHIA. Because although you can say, myself, it is excellent. No, but we do say at least the distressed nature of NHIS, and NHIA, this time it has come down. That is the same economy. And this is any crop for better nothing. No one can, the way almost can. Some you a agent, or no such an agent. But we are doing extremely well. What can't this one district 1 million? Adakabre, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. 1 year and I can say what the 1 million back about the MTBC show botum no kukudi and no and oye. Near His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo aka ne say 1 million per constituency. Constituency diano yebeya juma sabiu satikano ye de beye. And then you can one district 1 constituency per ambulance. And the ambulance is Sabio or Trufo, when they say the dance before which yet yes, Sabio, Yanya Trufons in Oba Parliament, ambulance, or Mapaki Gua, Yababeche. Every constituency, there be ambulance back. One village, one dam by somewhere. We have drilled over 500 and something dams in the northern region. Yes, a woman say, contractors in the B, Anya Jumapa, Omuya Jumabone, Sabio, or Mono, we are taking them on. Because Ajuma no Moya no Bebrina Yajuma Bonnie, Sabi, they have to go back and rework. But I can tell you that these dams that we are talking about, they exist. One district per warehouse. But there's almost those warehouses. Once you see warehouses now, and then in Miania, back out this maize, between a store, maize way those warehouses. Toilet are some of Adakabre, the special initiatives program of my year ensure more to each constituency Adakabre emre no so ayebebu boni nyina din, and I know Ken Oforiata tomorrow finance minister obebu some of these works ya no yenye duru ba bia ye ko de ba bia ye ko no ye duru ye, but I can say for sure say if you look at the foundation any the works as excellency na do danko akufo ado no sabi within the 3 years sabi Ghana 42 me amano no it is recommendable, it is unprecedented. So we will compare your friend is saying His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. They are two parallel, very, very parallel. Because idea, no, and you look in a omo yeah. And now, kind of my teacher or energy sector something. Adakabre, meneo, yenina, yejitum say, dumso beye yare ewo maimu. Dumso beye so chronic to the extent say, a man for class that word dumso no is going straight into the dictionary, because now a man for no motisono dumso no going to be managed. Inti omu sign PPH be pre energy contract no omu sign be pre ebi o wa na me no kasa yi ehu nya, because if you compare our capacity and the available capacity and what they have signed, every year we pay about $1.something billion free, take or pay. And then ufa ubepia, one far ubepia. That's how we pay for nothing.
Okay.
Sabio, it is true that we needed power at that particular time. But Sabio, come the one and you
okay, honorable member. Honorable member. Finally, okay, says the union was here train the finance minister and the budget no eba ne. Now, this is one NDC lawyer or year representation, Eduzi Tamaklo, or say November 15, 2017. A year finance minister Ken Oforiata or Kinkai budget. Now, ahead of sa budget, I know November 2017, a representing January to December 2018. Or can say a year. Numa we be a construction of bridge on the Volta River at Volivo, or say and swim Apegua Road, Kwafu Kruma Apegua Road, no, Tamale Yendi Road, Bogatanga Boko Pomakum Road, and Kwanta Utidamanko Road, Utidamanko Nyankanduri Road, Brikum Saikwa Road, Enchi Dadiesu Road, Kasua Interchange, and ancillary works. Dualization of whole main roads, construction of whole bypass, construction of Pukwase interchange, Kumasi roads and drainage extension. Or say a year November 2017 budget and Oforiata Bekenkan. Now or say the operational period of January to December 2018. But as yet, I 2019 or Bekenkan 2020 budget. What is the status? Yenye. The presupposition is wasabe bubo so saakwa but yenye emwa bi ho.
Yes, me ho ka chance me se ebe na nkwan na wa bubo so no sabio men nyam se menya road militants no mean to me who the status of all those rules are wa bubo so no ebi ho ya chance ebi ho a ya kati so ebi ho a adru some level.
In fact, from Bogatanga to Boku Road, Oma Yema, Zebila Krum, and Oma bypasses Zebila Kruma, Yenyaho, Ultra Zebila towards Bokono. So, Oma, so technically it's about 80% done.
Thank you. Until I make us say, at a good time, no, or by one as you know, the details of some of these rules will be given. But a idea. If you take a budget doesn't mean that from January to December, whatever you said, you would have completed it. That is not.
But 2 years there, ya check a class say fufro so damangu road.
And I make I say, and
Muntimin nya mamu fam ma budget him. Na yamfa yani nto so.
And the young country subsequent government, country finance minister says subsequent budget here on Baba Baby.
You wouldn't mean your piano. No, na fabrem. Na just ya.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't mean
and farm.
Okay. And I put Ghana phone, but who fire budgets upon budgets, you budget and you look at roles that you are supposed to deal with, and then you deal with them one after the other. It doesn't mean that you'll be able to complete all those roles. That is not a meaning. But
right.
Let's start the advocacy and see what will happen in
you.
the near future.
Honorable member, there was a right. Honorable member of Parliament for Pandai, Matthew Nyandam, and Yatin and Neno. Abraham, a quaff room to Apeja.
Only Mukwaya Abrepa.
Idea here.
A free tia, me ameti say a kai budget. Oza canena ye ni shadenis. But a free bra ye nifi ya meti say a kai budget. Akwaya debia metin wasampa ye Eastern Corridor Road. Ani dodo pepe sun kwanta. Akwaya bre. Offentis akwa no omuntumi ya omunto mame. Akwaini wabre papa debia dodo papa sun kwanta anya dodo papa sun kwanta eye Eastern Corridor Road ma tia se akwanso yewie
na
debia mete wo budget
dia yin
debia mete
dia hina
dodo papa sun kwanta
panyi koda me bepe unapo unapo high life one no hwehwe ma me na wo se ekwan ba ya dodo da miantie enti unapo yampe high life de no na sa kwan ya wo kan wasem yentie
over Martin Eastern Corridor dodo pepe sun kwanta ano dia wabre free temete finance minister bia obekọ parliament biaka dodo pepe sun kwanta Eastern Corridor Road sa kwa mienu wei ena ukọ yekura na senso a we de ona bonate ya abrasa ebuko amangase nkura na se ekwa ne se ya ase mintumi nkọ mikuro mu nyina free akwan free asinfosu ekwesi tufu praso kwansini a ubetumi de beye 30 minutes kuratwa but ubetumi de 3 hours from asinfosu to tufu praso and from tufu praso to dunkwa ofe se ekwano da so party se kotaria ofanka ubetumi de 1 hour etwa tufu praso to dunkwa ofe but ube free tufu praso just a car na enko. And now we are locking so na car because we be call from Tufupraso to Dunkwa ofe of 4 hours 5 hours na mo da so na mkwanso akwan na say
and na eye enkoko abepotia edeko afosu so eno so ti kwan be na yabo ne din achepa
of media the time so na mkan do poposun kwanta
Kwa brother me this anyu no be ma na de ya fasa do poposun kwanta
Eastern Corridor Road our Fawuka Grand 316
enti sa because information bi wo mu fa do so kwanta enti me entie de bueno be na fesa ajade yin bueno boy
of Adamawoka
me o kan kwa bra
of Ghanaian publisher dia be ni me hanom
what is say kwa bra say politicians we go to
of ala de ya sidie
you share stress me do
so be wuntam eti bebrebe die be die chireni mahama fese dodo pepe sun kwanta na Eastern Corridor na unim say finance minister ya so kenoforiata ono so repeat the be 3 times
na so bi anya meeting foforo so to dama road and no ba 4
kenoforiata se me kai ni ya ono so fufusu sola na tese ofa ba ne sana ekwan ni nyina tumi asai simultaneously abomsa no
ase supervision for no omo hwe me enye kwan ne ye na omo certify ne atuaka
because said the Asia say abomusano of a bayer tin pass ube to me a fixing in na won't to me. Won't to me.
But now the other one say I was say a year Rose minister. You share a fake. Sike bet me ayano. Say you bet me aye 500 kilometers. Na yanche region bia ubenya kilometers say. I feel say bia pan say aye Ashanti region ubenya say 80 kilometers. Na for what's 47 districts na wo ho nyina no. Na a district bia so bia kura nya 1 kilometer. Bia hu say ya che.
But offers woman ready budget. Sikana ye chase on fan or no ase what they call your road. I am farmer no one.
And you sika da ho. Abna wa sika na nida so se.
Ti budget no nyasika da wa yete.
Afena wode na ne abuo se. Afia ye besimu no. Sika sei na ebeba.
It is a budget.
Ya bi se wode nani atoso se wo adwuma wo ye no e wo se okokotua sa tax we enti e be ye na so wapekwan bi so afa no wa nkotua tax no ankotua na sika be ne mfa nkoye de wo hwehwe ye yema no aso
eni o fa de na sa entrechire sei no wo mu mfensa ne nkofom na ye nunum nyina ye ntiase bi me and then first time I te say budget nye sika da ho dabi
die ye de ani atoso se be ba futrum
menteda sa budget nye sika da wa ye kodi but ye de ani abu se se agege to na sika ba ye de we be kwa akoye sei enti ya ma chese ye nye enti na kwan ya nyi ne sen
enti na anwene ne sen no enti na wutimi de 3 hours utwamu adwoso a wo de 3 hours betimi aduru aye pokuase anase achimota na wo de 3 hours free adwoso beduru aye ensanwamu no wo wura nkrankra can take you more than 2 hours enura najo enso kakre toye omo measure kura nkyere yen enu 20 mm kura
that you fan 30 minutes
and 30 minutes but just o measure kura na enu 20 milliliters kura enso so no taifa hasei etimi etwa esi ena ehofla de ye no ena etimi back up akosi pokuase na wadwene ye wo se waduru pokuase na wo fa ACP asmi akoso a wo bo ACP popo na asoso no nkofo bi so okromu ase so mo hia futuo
akrofo na wo ho na
dabi ebi pom no so ACP hodum no obi esi abro san kese bi esi bi pon no so ene ye twa kwa na to be pon ase na wotum se nimfie num ebedwire gu fo
adan bi na
esi bi pon no so hodum no ene nsuo bi abetase
wa fa onim ni wura
why dia
mimi nimba menka
kwa no tum wati so no na wadwene ye wo se ututom di aba na kwabra eno nso no sa pokuase ACP hono no ensuo na beta ho da contractor ne nye kwan ni wie ana nkrofo yi omutu anwia bi na bo omode ne koyi ebuo ni free ho eno driver for apedo bedru ayi atomic runabout efa atomic police station na pedie ensuo ni nam kwan no ma eni kwan na ye pe ene chese baabia ensuo ni twa kwan ni mu no across kwan be 100 meters ene wonnam ensuo na guru come on na wey ensuo to se 20 milliliters kura ne se sei nenkran ebe ya wada roma eto 50 ebe yeden eto 100 ebe de because axim that me to 180 milliliters axim to me to 300 nenkran ha se eto 20 ana de asienia babna me ma obia license ensuo to kakra na wonu fie ka kira wo yire se so opese oba fie bebo akonhoma dia o ma mpe ba bi na
eno no
enti kwa enti so ni
eno no wafai dabi eno no sa upe wukunu nkwa
say ya
nsuo ni mu na katre ni
ona
ofa wana
manina
Sisi anioma me yɛ da kurom no nsu abɛka ho. Wafa anioma me yɛ da kurom nsu abɛka ho. First ni e bewuri di budget ya mema nkofie. Say si yɛ hwɛ budget ni yɛ wuri di wi a deficit ne exchange rate no yɛ bɛ hyɛ ni nyina kosi e bia ahomate ansa na ahomate nso ade atintia ne no waka
ansa.
Ena Champions League nso ye bobo no a ena bet ninti ye nkofie ena bia o si ye bia say smart ya na celebration bia eno nso ye nkofie
beach unkofie
sisi aye di nsu
abeka ho
ensu muna
pe ma okunu na ba bia obeda bia
montiase yesra mo
watimi ko wa me na ntimi amafie na woda mpam na tese de sie ni na ye ne den upo akonhuma mane na ba bia obia
wo free wo tra budumbura mo na wo kokekosa wo de ye ne a ye nko speed me fanse be 2.5 hours na wadu sa 2.5 hours no ofa wo free abeka junction upon waduma ekwa amasaman 1 hours
na eye mea me ofase godin sarebedi akon ABC the scandal Osuofa. I like the advice to our wives.
Yes.
Anytime it rains, let the technicians cut the audio for me.
Yes.
What's in the year and tie? For percent yinka na okofia no I said there o tie program no. Because na advice na ba.
Wa fa enwo because I wish I said the tender numpo.
Enra.
Pom kru.
What's na kofia ko edey?
Tete wa fa be cha kanum. Enti ania wo pe baby da se djuma mu a enko
adwuma mu a wo dey say ebe wo get ho anu akoda ho
adwuma mu enko
ati na
se baby a
why rest assured they say at least no ukunu bebe fie china na wo be ginchina se chinchina die enti no be ensuo de ne kwa na wo ye ndɛn
ensuo ne de wo be
ya ensuo de ne kwa so bia na yi ase na abesan ware kwa bina ma making messages ya what say wow look look, how can we understand this? Bonnie penny. We were going to America. Alice in Philadelphia.
Now what's your
phobia? Now what you said, and Round said, then super. What you what do you call your companion? And you're not the other chairman.
No, what you say, so
penny. A day. Where yourself, Bianca messages, Kakra. Was it thunder will strike you at your girlfriend's house? Randy up a but no
Abusiafo Ghanaian publisher the State Assembly Common Fund who has a maba and what I say yes sama mama na atoshiado and na finance minister ko parliament watsena na wo makọ kan ho asem mampani nanado enso aginanim hanum say ya woni Tamatedran State Apostolic Church of Ghana wo mukodi yenso asem ade abetoa ena wukoni mfimfiri wanom so a mampani a watu ekwan ye free Ghana hanum a wodi nani atra South Africa ekodi dwumadi awodo obebre no eno ho asem nso ewa ha
kwabena wada Roma mefa we nya we osimisa Adakabre busa kwabena mafu so se nada Roma ene de equality se ne yire ana ye yire eso chese o da se de nso yamuna ya ebubomu wada Roma mpese meda me koda sorry wa
me yire nsuo mu na wompie
ade ka betu tonso ma koda be odo be daro ko bi
nsuo mu na wompie fe nsuo mu na ubepie da bi wonu nsuo mu na wompie yo na Ghanaian Times di abaka tafe to su du baako John Dramani Mahama penia wotu Frank ama NDC and wakate mampeni na nado se kwanda mini abrokia fix na jai kasa bebrebe no sanse kasa tenten entoponko mampeni kwa South Africa Ghanaian Times de baye 60th anniversary celebration ebra bronga Afro region ebaya womuti wosunyane ɛwɔ ha Professor Dojambafo ya wɔte a wɔn ahena wɔwɔ sunyane na n'abosoma asɔ nkawire ya wɔtɔ so mmienu ɛna Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture enipa bi a wɔn akɔti wɔn no ɛno ho asɛm nso ɛwɔ ha nom sɛ ya the Bokrata Ghanaian Times ɛka ɛho asɛm maame na atɔsi ado ya saman no sɛ ɔmmerɛmmerɛ sɛ bɛgye fie no ɛno ho asɛm nso ɛwɔ Ghanaian Times mu na Daily Graphic nso de aba anim ha ɛna wɔte sɛ senior high school no sɛdeɛ nka wɔn bɛbie school ne nsakraeɛ kakra bɛm ntimuntie wɔn mu a ɛkɔ go track no na nka ɛsɛ so wɔn report wɔ efiada ɛnso November da ɛtɔ so etu mmienu a yɛwɔ tena ɛnso wɔn atum kɔ anim kakra ɛde kɔ 15th enti go track foɔ no wɔtena ɛnya ade a mobɛkɔ mo nkyɛn kakra na ɛnkɔ anim ɔde Professor Opoku Amankwa ɛmfoni aba abɛto ahanom sei na kratafo ɛtɔ so mmiɛnsa wɔ Daily Graphic mu ɛne wɔte sɛ Ghana Medical Association wɔn president Dr. Frank Ankobia ɛne wɔka kyerɛ aban sɛ condition of service yo baby o ma tua no still a wɔn te no wabasesini enti nsese nie Monday December 2nd edikosi December 8 wɔn bɛsa asia ya strike ne nkakra saa enti wɔn ma aban edikosi November 18th sɛ wanya ne saa mu wɔn a wɔn bɛte service no wɔn bɛ withdraw their friend sɛ OPD no wɔn de kɔ emergency no wɔn de kɔ afɛ deɛ woda hɔ koraa a woda hɔ ɛsɛ so wɔn hwɛ no wɔn bɛ gyae ne nyinaa mu obi a wɔda hɔ koraa mpo no so owuo no obewu a nipa korɔ no ebewuo ɛno nso wɔde ho asɛm ɛde aba ha nom sei ɛna microfinance bi ahodoɔ bi a ɛno nso yagye wɔn tumi krataa no sɛkefoɔ ɛgye yɛ no ɛno nso ho asɛm ɛwɔ aha na Daily Guide agɔzɔ yɛde ne ho asɛm ɛba yɛbɔ mo ho amanneɛ bebree enti yɛwɔ ha mampani na Dada Nkɔkufo Ado ɛsi atamfoɔ ani bɛwu wɔno nso ɛda ha Dr. Nyaa ɛne staff wɔ Holy Trinity yɛde wɔn nso mfoni aba abɛtoa Finance Minister do State Assembly Common Fund arias yɛsɛ so wɔtua yɛsi a yɛsɛ 607 million Ghana cedis a Parliament yɛte no ɛno ho asɛm wɔ ha ɛna KMA mayor ɛna regional minister ɛka kyerɛ no sɛ asɛm no ne ka de pa nso aduru baabi asɛ so wɔka KMA wotraste wɔ mu anya yie esanse wɔ mu ka asɛm wɔ nnɛ ɛtena no wɔ mu asa adan no enti ɔde Simon Semensa ɛmfoni abɛto ɔno ɛna wɔyɛ Asante regional minister na Mahama ayɛ desperate o ɛno nso Kojo Ponkroma mfoni ɛna yɛde na bɛto anim sɛ yɛwɔtere ne nsa ɛkyerɛ John Dramani Mahama so sɛ wɔyɛ desperate mampani nanado ɛne sun line ɛnso mfoni da ha no mu a
mampani ne hwan ne na ahyia yi
wɔfɔ wɔne China Vice Premier sun line ɛna wɔne no abɛto wɔ mu tia kama ya wɔ mu ɛsiri
akɛsɛ wɔba ne fɛn de sun line
sun line
na meka sɛ wɔsɛ sun line
da bi wɔfa we sign ewia SUN na ɛhɔ no yɛn ka ne sign yɛ ka ne sun line wɔyɛ ɛna minority fo a wɔn trɛten sɛ finance minister wura a wɔn mu apɛ no wɔn nso apie budget da no esanso wɔde wɔn ka wɔn tuayɛ ɛna wɔse pastor menso tabere paa kan wɔfori ata di ne birthday wankɔ wɔn nso mfo ni da ha papa na ne best friend paa ɛne kan wɔfori ata
na wante
ɛwɔ fa sɛ minim
aja minim because nyɛ nipa nyina na ɛteɛ
but papa koi
papa
koi
obekwa ne sa
Duncan Duncan Williams ekoye but men so tabera na danfo pa ne kanofori ata ne de ofa wanko ena enim ha nso ewo Daily Post mampani na Dada Nkɔkufo Ado a de boka te ebo no so bo se security agencies no wurawuram ɛno nso ho asɛm ɛwɔ ha ɔfa w'ani nsɛm bi akeka ho ɛna demokrata ahodoɔ no de baayɛ a yɛde AC na no wabɛgyafoɔ nso atoa so
Waye amansan chiame kwabna mafo aseda na yede edawo se watimi agebre na demokrata hodo no a yensa kan ne no watimude amayen Frank Boateng Jakwa na wose can this guy take off the hat akwa wontunu cheye na teacher constitution we amwase or see instead of former president to sit down and think about how to choose his running mate and write his manifesto, he's there reading cemetery. After reading in front of the new military cemetery, where is next? Why is former President Mahama so desperate to come back to power? It is said there were no word do eye baby a wotie no. Into bia do eye nabobuano ne mpotemu a keye into so no kokope hand slasher kokope langa now so baby atie no do ho kakra baby a wotie no na wono word do ho no no. Iti baby atie do wa no no mu a owo akire bene na be control baby atie bia no wa no ho aprapra ho baby atie bia wa no ho aprapra ho why na ko bia do na boboa no obi aprapra na boboa no a eye nya wo how bebre Kofi Amwa enso na can say who will believe this propagandist economist who doesn't understand simple economic theory of demand and supply shut up na ode eba e was say Frank Boateng Jakwa bio or say the person who has no credibility is Fifi Kwete. He has been a liar. He actually lied at Ghana's parliament and or the bar, yeah. So and Mahama Bakoju or say from the onslaught from the onset, you want to say not onslaught. From the onset, I anticipated this. A Ghanaian businessman who wants to establish virtually every business, instead for them to stick to one or two businesses and do it very well, they randomly engage in everything. And or they buy. Charles Nyame Saman Kese, as the cost of living in Ghana has never been this high like we are witnessing today under Akufo-Addo leadership. And or they buy Kunta case, or say be true to at least yourself, bro. How can you accuse this God-sent government as corrupt, especially considering none of the accusations and press conferences of their opponents has not been presented proof? And or say, Amponsa Prof. Choko, or say true President Akufo-Addo's brother, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, Ghana is the fastest growing economy in the world. Omar Fuseni, or say if MPP want to do road, they should start it now because time. Kojo Roxen, or say, former President Mahama have deceived Ghanaians with roads, and or they ebaye. And penny for so etna say no, I'll say a yen in term. If we say Ebo Francis Ebo Mensa, a Greater Accra Regional Communications Director of the MPP, or Ora Georgia, you see, National Communications Team Member of the MPP, or Ora Erica J, NDC Brown Deputy Regional Communications Officer, or Osu Banahine, NDC National Communications Team Member, and so on, to against draw. Not just hey, I will be a deal right, messages no so more modify WhatsApp on so in the Lottie Jones and or non so or say Parkwis Indomie and can ask them say in the Lottie Jones Jagus inside that swamp or say Jagus and Eka say or say those making comments about John Dramani Mahama weeding his backyard which was circulated on social must know that it is the duty of you as an individual to weed your backyard, but not expecting the government to come and do it for you, as this doesn't make any news at all. So let's talk about something better. And Mr. Adakabre, please help me thank Matthew Nyindam and Thomas Ogaja MP for Nanumba South for the great road development they have done in their constituency. I went to their constituency last month and I was so impressed. God bless them. Noah one and Odibaye. I say good afternoon, Mr. Adakabre. I heard my good uncle JM talking about Ghana's economy, and my question to him is that what did we know about good or bad economy? And Odibaye. Kwame Ntwi new Aplaku. Or say please permit me to tell ex-President Mahama that no amount of his weeding, be it weeding all the country's weedy roads or farms across the country, can return him to power. And Odibaye. I say also na Alice ba I say well look how can we understand this if one hey then that will strike you at your girl's house hey Alice girls are na ebe ya wari o na mo pese girls ni benya bi Wafa Bolly Bamboy Road and Ebuhalu Edifree Tema Edibaye. Ozia good afternoon. Adakabe, good afternoon. All the economic indicators show a positive sign. This indicates that Ghana is growing gradually. You get to the promised land. God bless Nanado and MPP government, Alaska and Koko constituency and Odebaye. Mama Bakojo and also do we say baye. Was it from the okay? I can kind. Was it good afternoon, Uncle? The Eastern Corridor Road was done by from KJP to from KJP to Dodi Papaso by President Kufuor, and President Mahama continued from Dodi Papaso to Nkwanta. Peter and confirm say in fact President Mahama from Dodi Papaso to Nkwanta and President Kufuor so from KJP to Dodi Papaso. Internet say no krese kwan no maye. That is what Peter Afenya catch yen inti ebia Kanazue hoso no ye to okay the ni nyina say you be check it mom me check it na omfa confirmation Peter from Afenya they were confirm say from KJP to Dodi Papaso John Kufuor na ye and do the purpose to Nkwanta John Mahama so na ye I didn't bra Mike no so beka I didn't hear chinye Erika Jane ka say
in 2016 election year
ama Kasago Mike no
a very popular issue in the country. Okay. I want almost a Burkina Bay contractor no
Kanazui
yeah almost what
yeah but as a say no
oh say ne the money di kan ko say baby o
Fufusu so lanso ye na akose.
Omo de aso.
Aso ko tutu
kwam e de cameraman fo ko dina so
say. Sheda.
Fufusu so lanso ye na aso.
Wo fa oni bibi. Say one UP ni UP fo asefo na ya de a.
Na wo UP no ba to de.
Wo fa. That's ye kan ba ko. Ye kan nti
you shoot you Eric.
Wo fa say oni sankofo na ya de a. Da bia mo wani na o. Omo ba ko se munye. Wa unim de cry chan. Wo fa. Enkofo na kan o ma se mi.
There's no doubt to say John Dramani Mahama do the purpose to Nkwanta.
Wofa MPP ni beti.
Nigga said ajana nyum na oto no
so kan sa. Odeti minue obetimi aso obansa de na chia so ye be ma MPP ni. Nti o chia wi a na wa hwe ne boso. Oyo ba obe.
Enfi edue no nechi etina propaganda secretary. Eti ways and means committee headed by propaganda secretary. Yanemo.
Okay, mumi yemfa ensam no ento ho no mo minority aye press pre-budget briefing na utie points are honorable member of parliament for Ketusaf Franklin Fiave Fifikwete de ba ya ne dia ko wia ne say it's the same old story of deception kinkinkwa and I can ofriata another round of just a sloganism and what they eba Panifo emienu ebo una di kan ba una regional communications director. Are we supposed to believe their minority kind?
Adakabre Mahmudu
Na
Oyoma
ebo halu so chi outema.
Mejenodo papa. Adakabre mfo efidi du na minchi a wete fu a wete wiabre. Minchi a ye party ye mampanyin na nkranfo biara wote mu mukrom no mabo. Central funya miche won be minchi a mesofu bi eje no wa mi do tie nti ebire mi che
so nya kwan BBC ade obeka no
onche he BBC ye di asha so do boto obo we bi efi Adakabre me be na mi say pensema enye fifi avekwete enyere ye na nya brente na no ye Minister of Agric na
Analabia
obakwa na Agric efi 3.5% a grow negative 0.5 in bia anya fifi kwete anya papa we na no former deputy finance minister na okasas na ekuo ni me tell papa na ehu yenuan mendis for they will not learn and they will continue not to learn yanti krom hana yadi budget record parliament media budget obaka che ende kenu furata olkwa increase taxes yakura more that taxes will increase more review to say taxes so obeka chere nde kenu forata kroko de John na wakaye other about to Ghana for enyim the taxes be increase ma afi ba ku botwema taxes increase rather more taxes more over decrease. Yanti krom ha na yenu anum fifi kwete led baka che Ghana fu nya de onam kanofurata ni hihye bo no za to 20 electricity over Ghana ha onya 3 months mpo Ghana bo redum so. Did we even see yehu krumpoda yehu dun so Ghana ha wokobo ajenum pama wokro palons hu de asobred kututwai itu gu fompo light of in Ghana. We're going a pre-budget press conference. This is the 401 press conference. Why? Within 2 years, 9 months. Until let them go. We are still counting. The more thing there, Nyame ya adoma ikuda achara ya oda oya foto samfo ye nue peyin kenofrata obaba brase bedwom otigana kohomesika Nyame ya adoma afia ye besimi 2020 obobo Ghana ho bra na man ho bra baba abotugwa am there match no ho popoe match man Africa wodika. It is good for them to come out before the rare budget comes, but mitibiti say fifi kwete mitibiti say a force minua forcing na mitibiti say NDC minua wa betre obey no propaganda. It has been with them and it is going to be with them till the dust is cast. Also, the NDC, they will be the same NDC today, forever, and ever. Sabi. Important mo je mpo sign party mpo weje. Dodin mo je sign party mpo. We hu that sabi party nko ye. Nti o man payin da warrants. What ono? Da ni hu mo ye ya. Okwa yi na so no. O so ntumi yi da ma trufu yi. Akwajufu yi, adabraba fu yi, alata fu ntra ho. He exempt himself from them. Nti 1-2 hombase na fufuru ya wa bo ofie omo onum ho nkwan
ya betia sempapa bi o budget
Mamudu sabi ya bab abenim 2017 the first budget I read that was March na ya ba busume basa onum po a na wo hihye wo go nkwasa budget per the green book led budget what the two machabi na unprecedented bi beno wa Ghana bi ayaye ekwen bi ayaye light we dum so waso unprecedented achievement by then president Mahama in the led government impo kenofurata be no na wo wie free there wa kwa IMF wa kaji credit and credibility governance credibility wa kaji obrenyi ho don make on sabi ekwan na wo fado wo hihye man ubuman wo tutu sikasam. That is NDC for you. Insu kenofurata so much 2017 mo ye din biara ye G2 ye share. But the whole year was predicted there. You read to Muntia public sector from January 2017 up to date. A kawaje guho per the allowances where you teachers allowance, nurses allowance, doctors, including other government agencies. Ye be you including the almighty health insurance. Ye to me a clear one debts. Now some catch or them made to my mess. Ija to 2017 made to my sustain may grow economy no made to may reduce inflation made to may grow agric made to may grow industry made to my ye nyame bia na isusu I bomb so bodem into me ye made to my year 2017 2018 consistency 2019 over no chere 2020 some budget me de baba ice na me into me ye it's minu anomo no it's better to learn. But I'm more for to be 1999 na Ghana was epic. Enyimba yedasi na Ghana was about to collapse. And the president Kufuor Bay was here for epic. Yenu sorry on the rooftops. Yen pin ye. President Kufuor da kukudri opted for epic. Epic toilet be no na NDC fu no obo ho atware. The one CB one constituency, one CB one district. I remember vividly me Water region. The fear hingbegbe Ayingbe say Ayinagbe I forgot the name.
Afienagbe. Baby, the late Kwashiga Ifri.
Me call Kleko. That area. Kleko. Talk be Sajamaja ho. And toilet na worry at that time. But no what we every day they fought against the HIPIC initiative. But they benefited the most. Mahama Obakechere Ghana for sponsor 47 adverts against Nanado ni vision of bringing free SHS. Abo otabere ni preach no ye wa asori. It is sikado ekwom no mabo ekwansanfo ekwahefa no sikado esabi wo bon be biara the Mahama osi Mahamo Nanado ntumi ye nanso nyame admo be meti da fififi abi kwete ne bako school Togo meti there any NDC member including me brede ne baby ko school or Botojina Burkina Faso unwenyara what primary college what decided college awudo me unya what preko and these people will come out and catch Ghana for their economy nkoye but no better time ya today institution be about teachers what say busume basfonto enko even the outside the box or man paying the bay the NAPCO the afforestation people also part of outside the box out of the equation they will create to absorb the pressure any popo de basa what came boom now we a press conference today so when tria this is assembly common funder obejai so what can the master no yam do papa since 2002 na nyame ya madum nya kwanya me coalition as assembly member elect as a lamb down me will have to date my companion and 4 terms in office I feel na call pension me new kase ya me ya the current presiding member I will protect the municipal assembly NDC for we for the 2015 the whole of 2015 common fund back kumpamba they forgot it so soon
na 2019 ibiaba
yes
send akem
2 na akem pay by me check me be say I'm Africa coordinating director
2 na
the
akem
first quarter and the second quarter the third quarter as I'm speaking to you we be busumi nkwe na third quarter na abotum the last quarter by the close of the year you be clear so next year nyame yaduma it will be on clean sheet
today ntino mo sign or they may work out of the parliament
menua enyimoroko ntokoni ntum ntiriki jira da no do na atiem ma wo sekan ma bokwan ma bumu me pro to create attention for people to sync with you o send their kunira bakudibulus mroba show to create the assumption which is not there. Abeni, the only government in our country where to make snowball, we create 6 regions. We create a lot of the municipal assemblies.
Mayemra unia Erika Jiho na yenti ono.
It's a blue to Miss Ribbon. I'm a Miss Ribbon.
Yabasa about and then yabema mutai.
Okay, man. It's Eric. Brim.
Eric. The pre-budget briefing minority here, you know. Fifi pity so edna no atomo no esen kusiaga ne waste time bia oso gitum sa
famidasi mecha menuanu mienu na mencha Ghana fo nyina Ghana manpeni that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama maybe o bia achia no na ofa ene de amamu na free 18 months eko 4 years ana look at Ghana web. I will change Ghana in 18 months. Nanado Dankwe Kufuado. That is 2016 election campaign. And I'm mobile. I feel near a month.
Yeah, by 18 months, Doom saw was still.
You see.
Ghana changed.
Wafa. Catching us as more kind one trend. Yes, I will go back on any more.
And
I'm say, oh yes, sir, Dr. Bawumia credibility amount for can be question. For Ghana web, or say Mahama deserve no credit for ending do so. Said by Bawumia, go check from your phone. And I'm say,
Yaman opportunity. Yaman opportunity. Yentie.
Oh yes, sir. Rhetorical.
Doom saw will be a thing of the past. There was.
Meba.
Over.
A dear na walker.
Our father may cause so him 70 Mabanama. Of our say, Mahama deserve no credit for ending doom so. And he say, on it, data minia will be now. I check your man. Say, man can't, but we me and a kind. And I'm catch Ghana for say within 18 months. Ghana for how you know be fix it. Of our say, okay, slow so catch there, say. Say your boss young bonny a dibu or mania. ne ba owo 18 years betimi abu o my Ghana. I was a President Mahama true challenge among us sika na omo se yeti sika so e come there no omo nyina omo mfanye adwuma. People are still hungry. Don't go there. Don't go there, you flop. Of a mobile bobosia a chain cree. Ketasishane proyeso there as a sponsorship. Every sector of your what band be bia ketasisha popular. Plenty for food and job, my main tune sim kakrana means on track. Over ye be fear konyasono. Now you secure funding. It was 135 million Canadian dollars. Ye call ya mobile and I'm muchenyi dini and planting for food and job. Yeah, the na mapo. Go and check from your own budget in 2016. 2017. No, it is stated. Moses Sardino offer. And I'm here and planting for food and jobs. Yeah, your friend and mapo modernizing agriculture. Yes, yeah, no. And yakwa kopes senior. Yakwa kopes sikaba. Sika ya je mose bosian fasu ni so. Na ni ya je bosian ni bi. Etimi amwasesa bosian project ni din na wo de ye adwuma no. E ma nto nyom mfrɛ. Over. Yakwaje bosian $135 million. Enye wanwa se agric minister timi ka kire Ghana for se emu $12 million ayira true fertilizer. Enti nipa we mu ye de Ghana show mo say look at the population in the country. Na hwe farmers o mu nya fertilizer emu $12 million ayira wo san de je ho. Enye wanwa because mo say one fertilizer one job. Enti agric minister be ka kire Ghana for se we created 745,000 jobs. And I can do Japan crab a case when you na Ghana from Pesa. Offer quickly on the economy. Yeah, buy and Yankasi I Ghana say heaven. Mona mu opposition. Sabe na mo campaign as a be major man for poba. The obeka man at yes be obeka. Sana mu treat Ghana for in general. And you spoke a lot. And someone mo ka and hantim. Offer just last 2 weeks. Your press conference that's gumu a trend about nepotism. Me na nakusu atwene wati my hingru. Waka ho asem da. 16 January 2016 ko Ghana web bim. Na na do danko Akufo-Addo say all me practice family and friends government. No no ba na ne yire na beche contract. Na President Mahama na ne yire adwuma PPA. You see, munni niam we nyina but adwen money until you spoke a lot. And I me no work say me kita piak report. Okohwe ye penso 2016 de na ye de GMPC sikaya na de mo de ye mampani na osenye na ire na beche Ghana contract no yetime 120,000 from GMPC so fan supporting the foundation and to say ye en ye sikasi ye de malodina say won fanya foundation na wofa etinka krom ha nke be yi wofa ye de ni opiak report to be mo projects ana ye de ye ni yesi adan yesi asopiti through GMPC and utimi 15 billion old Ghana cedis as the more himpon say odi anniversary wonfa. Those are the people we are talking about today. So mess up the economy. Then at the end of the day, over Tinaha and a growth aba and a way aba of a human being corporate social responsibility. You want to truck at Anaba. Normally, no one will decide baby or the call. So do your checks well. So what I'm telling you is what about Tina Kunyaso? I got 3 good years. What say agri sector? 50 quote agri sector. Growth from 0. Good. Offer you see the year I am a fan say almost artists our figures now and a growth for do say. And we had to say the simple question is a growth in your bottom wafa. And I'm a wafa yetia konya so na growth in the negative sector wa Greek na wo kan. Me mama yakua ni pa. Masifo enyen yakua fo. Koku adwuma na no moye. Time on economy no growth agri sector no e da negative figure no. Na yeto koku bag no 475 Ghana cedis. Time na growth ni negative na koku akua ni ye fertilizer free. Of a time on growth ni negative no na koku akua ni no ye turn the bag bi aso sen tua ne bonus 5 Ghana cedis. Time na ye negative na grow no na ye wo sika de ye cocoa rose. Of a time na agri sector na eco negative na cocoa stabilization fund. And there waba o say the whole economy ni growth na 8.2 sales. Of a agri sector na make cocoa asem cocoa kwe ni what transfer 3 good years mu na okwe. What to move for te Ghana. Cement back ye yetia konwa so na oto 28 Ghana cedis na ye 39 inti growth no e wo bottom ye kwe ni no bottom. And chance ya oton cocoa we are to be the bonnet dance. Alozin in 2016 it was around 380 Ghana per packet. And now me no ka say 480. Offer ye kodi fufu opokuase na neba. Ye do baby ne yeton bidie. Yes, utumri anu wa kiresi. Ye do baby na maame bi ton bidie ne ginai. And ye busa ne se bidie bag ne yesen. O say 42 Ghana cedis. And ye busa ne say in 2016 it was 20 Ghana cedis. And now te o can grow fast. What is your understanding of growth? Anasa krono ketasishe pro na tie pia wo presidency na sika fono mo no munim se sa na obi edibi ene Ghana kuafo ebre mo betena se a mo beto mo bo akasa akere Ghana for no ena ye grow ye only why na grow of I have a document with me here mekai this was February 12 2016 okay say ye kofa asankofa deal no buy no dey na Italians ne ba Ghana no minority press conference omo ye ni omo say sankofa gas deal bloated by $12 billion offer statement we na kan o kan ko deeper ya ka wo mu say o say na me kan ba bi kakra that's paragraph 7 o say oil production from the project is expected to start in 2017 and peak at 80,000 barrels of oil a day in 2019, where gas production is expected to start in 2018 with daily production capacity of 170 million cubic feet. This will be enough to generate additional 100,000 megawatt of power for Ghana. The development plan calls for the installation of subsea production systems, in addition to the flow lines and risers connected to the lease floating, production and storage of offloading, blah blah blah. Okay, kwa. Ebesi achire say upon agreement na ye sign no. In 2017-2018, the economy will grow. So the oil sector in the oil sector, mo say ye growth na e should to go 8.2. Oko no oil sector da 4.6. Inti growth be na oka. Oil sector do na you go sign by ya. Meba oh don't go there. Of at the end of the day, calculate Ghana kai na ka ho. Mo na mo dis one for so ne and na me no ka so far. Budget near dey ko. Mo bet na konwa so first budget in 2017 it was around 64 billion Ghana cedis. And I'm with 400 million echo free SHS. Offer in 2018 appropriation I'm what they call parliament it was around 67 billion Ghana cedis. Allocation for free SHS was 1.1 million Ghana cedis by then. In 2019 budget, appropriation, me copies, so they make right. It was 78 billion Ghana cedis. And no chance I'm more no other supplementary budget 6 billion no. What for okay within the 3 budgets now my prepare now. Capital expenditure will be about 21 billion. Of a common sense in economic building. Capital expenditure no we invest how much and only returns in your economy. And your mom we in consumption. What for to say the area kobo bosia abeto chocolate amount kwadedi. Yeah, walk out one man kwadane na nanu mabetua. Ba obobosia. Wafa now the yikwanya e promote economic activities. Mo bosia hodo na imagine. Mo nche ya de pa mo de yanso apan. So free SHS in all within 3 years, you used to buy 400 million Ghana cedis. Of Adaka over 200 and something billion. Then amodiai. Aside another beer that's sorry at the enchina maji bosia na the shema come and said all the statutory funds I work room ha mudini na bosia. And now me no ka offer oko get funder. Get the get fund sika bosia. Me ba offer. Me no ka say here oko get fund. Get the akwaje bosia. Oko Ghana amalgamated trust. Eno ye the send 2 billion. Oko energy sector that is the ESLA. Ye the 4.6 billion. Oko Sino Hydro. And also ye the Ghana Sasimu Sadiesi awa. These are the people we are talking about. Nothing is ongoing. What betina kunyaso abanya odobenada. Akwan na da bi obi e demonstration. Why? Wafa, ye see bosumi we muda ben na dia chia. Unhu se baby e demonstration about ne kwan. Ye tia kunyaso we did a lot. Do your checks well. Governance is a continuous process and event. Enti si yaba. Ni ye kwan na wa stop ya common sensically contractor ni side to be kwan ye. Of our betina kunyaso so the first attempt we ye yama akuafo ne Ghana fo si apini e wo ya kwan ho ye kokoro da motache. You suspended over 230 contracts. Offer, most more your auditing. At the end of the day, auditing no most spending $10 million. Monya from Swaba Kumpo, Monfa contractor back. Name the contractors. Name the frosters in the deal. You can't name them. Offer, ye take on near Yakwanya, 1 kilometer, a year $250,000. Offer under the Sino Hydro deal, of only 1 kilometer, $1 million. From $250,000 to $1 million. And also among yet. Then what here? Sino Hydro, no offer agreement now. Yaya Kwana radio picture diabetes Yaya Kwana $100,000. I think what they have in camera nature. These are the people we are dealing with. And Timo Betinasia, you humble yourself because Ghanaians are suffering. When I know can say no. Or say of how can I say in 2017, yeah, can budget. Emma Boso can on board dance. Okay. Emma Mushi Jama. Na asempa budget to kura nyi na de na be yi say title na asempa budget nti we need the same what expectation they should give the name of the budget as well you can be about so accountable spare passes so. Now you start implementation of the policy. No, say yes. Na that die. And now me no kasa. O say ane. Oh, almost see a better to taxes. Omoke yankusiaga. Ah, wafa. Uni ane me no talk credit 10 Ghana cedis. Ha. Ni ati me 70 pesos. And also cry yet ya mama hu na atwem woni a woman penini na so afo timuti. Yes yet ya ma hu. Yet ya ma hu because he cannot omobusuanfo timi ensa na da so nti eno so nepotistic. So mo na eka. Say ye yi nipa 51 ya. Ye fiefo nko an na wa ba mu. Over tata kwashi nyo na mini koko bai okokoko board na busuanfo send wo ho anim guase aban. So we are telling them say the economy is broke and it keep breaking from nothing is going on. Etimedia budget na yeba no me expectation ade e betimi aya de foforo mu ni say sika ne de be kosoro because ye ko 2020 elections MPP panimu bi na ka kire me say omo believe say Ghana obi a price enti ombe magana for miasa omo mfa ho election ye ombe je sika no oya Ghana ni ye de badge ye nyina yesika no bia de yedimu 120,000 Ghana cedis ama Rebecca so mfanye foundation no de yedimu 15 billion e de ama ohene ba ko so mfani anniversary wa bra nkwada ene laptop e wo classroom nkwada ko classroom mo tifo wo fa ohene na sama nyo ohempon maka so yo ohene ya wa GMPC enti se nkwada atifom na okoyi 1.5 million Ghana cedis so bi mfani anniversary e toje wa so ye de ene tofa bom se de om de baba bia yekuram na nado amamu no wo fa ati se odi atikurate animu ana odi na chi ba bi ehu se break failure odi na animu otwa fa so akire no so tia ekun so wo ba kwan yetim
we dey inside I am say you see o say atikurate so odi na animu odi na chi o enye
I say mama mu na na o describe no sa no jo mama mu no na I say o my vivid explanation of that Adakabre maminchia na minchia watiefo na minchia my colleagues budget yesika sem hyehyɛ de di kan a meka ho yesika ye betimi age ho nsɛm on the revenue targets yeah they see expenditure nim because this year initially the main budget near expect is be raised about 58.4 billion 58.904
you be raising next so jitum say enye sika da ho
enye sika no I na wo so mo cheche minipa na wonya wo me kwabra mafo na wo mae
kaze sika da ho na de se de koye kwa ne vanye
onu se scan da ho ye ko maso ne de akọ enti eno ye projection and a target about 78.4 billion for expenditure. And ye kwe nim no ye the media review ekoye adjustment kakra ewo revenue no any expenditure yinum. Enti me expectation is this year ye be project more realistic revenue target still it may go up more than the 58.9 ye project and we hit almost there because we are almost there. Another issue I hear the expenditure I may assure of say this year's budget infrastructure be dimu akutene pa. His Excellency the Vice President Etihuache. Kwabnama for yen review no obo soon shall the Chinese Vice President was a Vice Premier. Waba oni omampani abekasa. Ni nyina ni titu pa na ye Sino-Hydro agreement no. Na Sino-Hydro no so for infrastructure development. Inti me wa reshemu se ebedimu akutene ewo we no. His Excellency Vice President Akabi bisu ame me nida so pa me mpa ebo because of baby ade adwuma nti the Polugu Dam project me mpa ebo I can say by end of this month ye betwa homa no na just the project commences. Me assure say backup budget no capture no seriously. The issue of job creation and so economy no ade esi dey ni so because change an agenda for jobs, creating prosperity and equal opportunity for all. Your manifesto ye de ba power no no ka ho nti na napco ye tu ho na more than pa emabunu almost 100,000 ya pe adwuma ma omo ya omo ka say budget then they nkofo ewe adwuma mu a wo ye reduce tension within the system nti bibia pa NYEP for youth employment for so omugusu also roll out new schemes the way latest one a job center a very good a year omone adwuma omo wo adwuma so edi nkita ho a so we obi a betimi aboa amawanya issue another issue I key am if me share nim say Minister of Finance Becca a deficit issue especially election year 2020 finance minister can't actually penny so I can say we are going to still maintain the fiscal discipline fiscal monetary discipline even in election year be pay only 2002 penny Kufuor Breso the deficit was around 2.2% in election year 2004 and that is the issue see within 4.5 and 5% budget deficit election year or no election year we are committed to operating within your debt servicing portfolio so your dear Adakabre higher empire no debt issue NDC bar power na your total debt you pick in normal film na about 9.5 billion Ghana cedis almost free so na 122.6 billion o shemwa enye sika ketwa make be bench o yam this say mo abobisi amode ya dey mamudu interest payment in 2017-18 budget in 2019 interest service in kwa 2 way no yetua about 31 billion interest in kwa 122 billion no boy na onu bisa say bia bobisi ya dey ne no ma ka ya burugu ho na we 31 billion to
na nusia
oba pewu koko ndia onka da kaka de onka
na me
na nusia
me you are no ba me you are no ba before the boy am say ademu what is that say we mu say ademu edan kase we ya
Kufuor na kwaji $7 million Kufuor na Kufuor
Mommy taking note. Na Sianusia. Nanusia
good. Enti we and she say yakuye no do baby no. Interest service no kra any wages and salary budget no kra eyepe. In fact broso kra. They get it. Interest payment ya bonti aban we and she share wo ye ne se da bi ya hwe ye nyina yi anye ye sika sam she share ne ya asam be fa ase eno ne sinohydro movie ba wo hwe mu so a far reaching expansive cost projects ayeye free SHS cost project project we bia na eni ho ene ye de aba omampani na nado danko Kufuor do say kana mofra efie bia mu fangu ya ye omampani Kufuor da Roma yanyei e wo so bia nya ho mfaso enti opese efie bia anye kra hwebe awofo mo school fees de o man Ghana ya fa me na nado danko Kufuor do se me koso eti abanwa yi so de school fees this school fees was secondary level aban afa yes, more piafo mampani. Nyamenka. Planting for food and jobs. Bibia, look, NBC for here. Ghana is predominantly agriculture country. Starts it just almost 60% of Ghana.
Premium and come
okay.
Kriayono etimi akonanim enti eyede bia another cost component factor budget yibeka ho nurses and teachers allowance and this for can be say ya this guy ya anyway wofa menka bibi sa meboa ka kire me wofa sa obeboa me so a human development over over human capital development and your capital investment. Yeah, capital also recurrent expenditure. Yeah, investment in the human beings. What's your capital investment? South Korea, yes, investment many years ago, no, near per capita dollar in South Korea. Free SHS, we first car and reverse car, and then Hyundai Zeris, Hyundai Sonata, Elantra Muada, Meboa, a South Korea for because committee resource in the human capital development. And no man penning and I to say, there be yet mean coso, and yet the no, yes, Sanoma, yet human capital base, Nanconanimity, a serious investment. It includes the teacher trainee and next trainee allowance, Yadima Omo. These are very important. A collaboration who had the Akonanima also your teacher near Onimadi. Oh, maybe who school be baby, teacher be Ocean, what now cause you one your pedagogical skills need training in a year. I didn't know any more team offer. But so much no Danny be or be best here something which is the Meboa. So a major issue.
Needs FM.
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And no more better to me Baba no one dear no. Come so to me. Hey, I saw. Hey, now Becca. Ya John to mommy and Saint Duku Portomanto. This way chocolate drink. Nakan or shit. Afibian Suberi new our renia. This way chocolate drink. Nakan ya. Oh, I saw. Udan klanu to more. Maybe one wants to share crowd ya kahon. Who had your weapon home. Ukasa batete. And a form one. This way chocolate drink.
Catch up a Baba Wari.
Aso.
Ye fear said this way chocolate drink, yes, or Yano Pan on Yanum. Ye bishop free genome snack. Ye Yaho one on the seven woman. Ye did really a pebibia bob we had Yasua. This way chocolate drink in Yanum. And at this one, what's Yanua? Has such a woman, Coco wom, Brick wom, Bibia wom. I don't hear any social.
This way chocolate drink.
Do hear any social.
FDA, I just said, you didn't crack to more to say a ye.
Ejaba boni di adwa ma wubi eti ya menu afa hin na mahwie fufuo ti ase dada menya wofo yi papa so ba fie ni enwe fufuo ya asam aba na so oben wadi fufuo edi mpreni ni mpresa da ko beye di ni ehwe fufuo a akode wonwane adwa mo adwuma se me ni fie adwuma di mini fufuo kakra ba o medie no eno to me twama da pasa aso wo kan na matire nyira wati ate na make am meboa e bom de odi komum na sese ade obra to otwa fufuo ai wo wodwo pam na wo ma asiu na wotimu aba na wo sadade na wo temfra kwade ne nyina tuatwa make say ya needful sadaroma wo bia mani ye pa ya wa ya mbode fufuo ne mankani fufuo a wa ne powder wo de guada kama ya ya fra no needful fufuo eni no bi na masori ba until izi kama me di ye yo sese bia ma me hwe oh e bia needful fufuo e ye kama say bode fufuo ne mankani fufuo papa bi na wo ka say twan e posim na ede na me se wo ka so ento simanu mpɛ no wa wie wo hie wo kwa papa bi aguso but chese de ama mani kura agisa ne fufuo a ho ama ko to bi kura ba ne se se de Ghana fo sipom fufuo no eno an wo ye nu enti se wo hwa fufuo won pam wodom ne we nu a wo ho susuna bi awom wo nso de body ne mankan fufuo papa bi ejanie eni afi na fufuo na afi na wo bedi pa ne se de wo bedi ne se ne wo fa mojaduro ana pa wi ani anadwo a wo koda ne fufuo supermarket bi am ne fufuo e wo wo fi a ani gyanko a
FDA ahwehwɛ sɛ adwade nkratoe mu agye atom sɛ ɛyɛ
Utie oha ekchi ponkno Needs FM Utie oha ekchi ponkno Needs FM
Hey, catch it. Listen in here. And no more better to me Baba no one dear no. Come so to me. Hey, I saw. Hey, now Becca. Ya John to mommy and Saint Duku Portomanto. This way chocolate drink. Nakan or shit. Afibian Suberi new our renia. This way chocolate drink. Nakan ya. Oh, I saw. Udan klanu to more. Maybe one wants to share crowd ya kahon. Who had your weapon home. Ukasa batete. And a form one. This way chocolate drink.
Catch up a Baba Wari.
Aso.
Ye fear said this way chocolate drink, yes, or Yano Pan on Yanum. Ye bishop free genome snack. Ye Yaho one on the seven woman. Ye did really a pebibia bob we had Yasua. This way chocolate drink in Yanum. And at this one, what's Yanua? Has such a woman, Coco wom, Brick wom, Bibia wom. I don't hear any social.
This way chocolate drink.
Do hear any social.
FDA ahwehwɛ sɛ adwade nkratoe mu agye atom sɛ ɛyɛ
Yamenu
ejaba boni di adwo ama wubi eti ya menu afa hin na mahwie fufuo ti ase dada minya wofo yi papa so bafie ni enwe fufuo ya asamu aba na so oben wadi fufuo edi mpreni ne mpresa da kro beye de ni ehwe fufuo a akode wonwane
adwo mo adwuma se me ne fie adwuma de mini fufuo kakra ba o madie no ene wato me twama da pasa aso wo kan na matire nyira
wati ate na make am meboa
ebe de odi komum na sese ade obra to otwa fufuo ai wo wodwo pam na wo ma siu na wo timu aba na wo sadade na wo tim fra akode ne nyina to otwa make say ya need food sadaroma wo bia mani ye pa ya wa ya mbode fufuo ne mekani fufuo a wa ne powder wo de gu da kama ya fra no need fufuo a
eni rubi na masori ba until izi kama me di ye yo
sese bia
mama hwe bia need fufuo eye kama say body fufuo ne menke fufuo papa bi na wo ka say twan eposim na ede na me se wo ka so ento simanu mpɛ no wawie no ahie wo kwa papa bi aguso
be chese de ama mani kura agisa ne fufuo ho ama me koto bi kura ba ne se se de Ghana fo si pom fufuo no eno an wo ye no enti se wo hwa fufuo won pam wodom ne we no a wo ho susuna bi awom wo nso de body ne menke fufuo papa bi
ejanie eni afi na fufuo na afi na wo bedi pa ne se de wo bedi ne se ne wo fa mogyaduro ana pa wia ne anadwo a wo koda
ne fufuo supermarket bi am ne fufuo e wo wo fi a eni gye nko a
FDA ahwehwɛ sɛ adwadie nkratoe mu agye atom sɛ ɛyɛ
Utie Oha Extreme Ponkno Needs FM.
Needs 100.9 FM Suni. And Monday, November 11, 2019. And the time just about 3:15. In the studios, Francis Ebumensa of the MPP and Georgia, you see, also of the MPP. In fact, Ebumensa, regional communications director of the MPP and the presiding member of Usu Klote municipality Usu. And I feel so Georgia, you see, and so NADMO director of communications. Nafi so the husband of the deputy minister for education. Nti Ura George Erica G. I see a Unico Western Housing, a dancing Barbara. Nti Erica G. So NDC, a deputy. Don't worry. Nyame me wa pass for ma ba we tititi entina also training here national service the next 5 years and some ma consider don't worry NDC regional communications director and Usubana Hina so Yashin mobile. Eric.
Oh, Mammy, me round up over.
Or no, Bassa, but back before the came and son. I was over. President Mahama is telling us, and now reminding Ghanaians, President Kufuor said, Yetisikaso. No, was I saying, Sika Yetis one, I didn't know. Does it make sense? Tell us more about that.
Over me that's it. You see, baby, I am man yourself no kono. Say verses and need na me muso. Ade nya you admit it saying it. And ade a onim se na nya enra no eneso enye. Over one say ensem wa ya start ya ye kan nyina no. De e be kan bia ye ma evidence e detach. Say ensem o mo kan ye ni. De me di kan boss e ba ne Koko football boy mamu abusuan nchemfa wonche ni United unu animu ayem passo na nado no ane kan se wo me practice ene wo baaye wo hu se sanfa so kra wo mu chen na wo kan so clearly no of amechia o same ya ni aid Razak kwajopoku ma so flash me sa na national lottery o ka so no so ne boss ba ko bi o ye o Razak o boss on the sign contract 11 contract you know the man na contract no eno kra ni nyina amfa procurement yi enele ba kono no ntinja me de am on ne boss no wo fa won de ye ka no you see that wo fa ene man ko yi na me na man ye misre President Mahama nsema woka yet sika so wofa upe video amenya mo wo me phone so nanado that time no she Elaine top white and wo share jeans no share kambu wofa yen kwala ne kambu white one no bi ntina ne top ne kambu ne yepe na no gina podium no so yet sika so e come there okay a lot but we are still sitting on the monies now and our final day at bomb so sika ne she form ne yet so and about we also added a voice by then. Was my year Juma Bank of Ghana, meaning the Ghana for and it's our past experience now. Or can Oba Ben we are Jeffrey no one. And no, you work there, it's a fact. And Ghanaians are now feeling the heat. Ghana for now, or show more boss here to Sikaso come there. No, if I am far Cote d'Ivoire for my honey, the Ghana for Cote d'Ivoire, one and that's what ye and no more bobina. And the NSO complain here, I am piania to be among. And upon a kind story. Nanaya or Safamafo, ministers in our prefect. Was he on a manner ya form backward National Communication Authority backward Senate no. Omoko interview among the first, intino more. Inti any animal mono one up with almost 700 now and a banner 300 million old Ghana cedis a month. No, Napco for Nabon. And what their first class funny ho. These are the people we are dealing with.
Propaganda.
She said their name many okase. Abusian amamu go to John la Ghana web. The story is there. On one kind.
Serious enter.
Ofa. They say abusian amamu many okase ne. Mobile more creative job. Juicy aspect ni nyina we abusian nsem. And say GMPC na obekwa ko he border. Obekwa na me boss no. Because ye campaign ye call the whole Ghana no by me support the only bia.
Say baby okay.
Oh, ja. Oh yeah. Of onim so ye nana.
Asa ye
ahemfo nya amanyosem wo de ya agene fon ohina wo be ya amanyosem emwa ofanti the American say the hardship is deep. It is America and I was unu ho na kakasa de di kire nipa because oba na me expect so almost start o monka sensem president America na o man kan sa amre no because na me no ka say nsu obo ye pegem kane no ne eto nsu obo mu a mo say news and taxes and na me no ka sa beto credit ya pegem 50% too. But what you come so see news and taxes. Of our energy sector levy, ESLA. Ye de buy ye see a bejina home fee num. Near declare a legacy debt in our energy sector na near withdrawn it back. I am pian kofo we 2 year krumha. Mobile ESLA mo dia kwaje bosia 4.6 billion Ghana cedis. So those are the people we are talking about. Bible say the onim papa na wanye na ye bone mu opposition na mu nim papa ni nyina e na mo baba mu nyina mo dane ade bonyefo. Munim papa na munim bone why eno na Ghana fo esre mu se ensem ahodo anamo ka no ye tie mo over ya ye fo trotro ni taxi no wunya fo ya ye hu pe na o start complaining and first issue ni so be ko to price a NDC tie konwa so na ye to fuel of ye tie konwa so kra na ye to ni 18 Ghana cedis a wa betina konwa so within 3 months and a fuel gallon liter e wo makura na se ye to ni 26 Ghana cedis but that wasn't the promise. Sampa me constituency na making. You turn 26 Ghana cedis. It within 3 years no. Wait me to move 7 Ghana cedis. One say na me de bidie bag example. Bidie no ko fa dodo na what time. Na nka o de ba bedun kran a. Na turn bottle back 20 Ghana cedis. And na 42 Ghana cedis. E opokuase ya yigina bisai. Eti petty things are e mani pass it na mo hen no. Ofa emu aye den. Okọ council as free education. Enti o madwen ni so obi onam krom ko school. Oh, omadwen nyina ne say me am complaining me free education ma pon ma betena ha. Ofa wa o kasa o ko free education. Ba ni refi say do oye bodwa anwuma no. O ma economy no mu ye mrema na. Otimi hwe na abusuan so ka ho bi. Ofa free education for no ma kwan no betena fia. Aba na to aduane mo amudi. Abusuan ne na hwe omo de ade to aduane ama nkwada na di akoba kekra na ya asem. So we are not saying say policy here. The policy is perfect. But men yes say o de okosu nyina gu basket baakum nti ye ka hwe no ane so me mpefo from ka hu no eno na president Mahama ka no ene if ye tisika so e come de ya amanfo esuso o makwan nye wo fa sika so na ye de ye kwan na meboa enti sika na ye te so na de na monfa bi nye kwan no eno amekọ takrade na mekọ takwa nsuayem constituency se ho na emreku duka no mekọ kuro bi ye frɛ ho subiri so unim ho me can send be one of your sister stations and yes obi so the member court Say me say abamu mpanimfo ne galamsey. I have videos on my phone. Ne galamsey are ministers eye wo. Ne excavators are mo chichiton. Yes. And I make an assignment no emrema mo anka ministers in galamsey yes. Mo so na mati anti galamsey task force. And I'm saying when the time comes here show more quarter. Oh, tie me mama kasa. Offer anti galamsey task force mpo amote because of my no aye den no. Excavator mo chi amoton di kwa. Offer only car papers out on cars. MPP mpanimfo asem ne yakan. Ene mo aban mu obi aye no connection man. Who MPP ni bi o chen goro man. Go to the presidency, police slot in the baba, moton 5,000, 6,000. Cocoa board, every slot moton. So the way now, mode or minor to a pampas. Ghanaians are feeling the heat. And one day, and I know say we never bontain that you. We be sorry aba. Send another person in your banso me toy. It's a fact, it's ongoing, we know. And not in a lot of the security sector near Kase, or more for Muku, more bear comparison, if more or less divide. Now, for our immigration, here, do 10,000. Okwa trimupo be na odeko. On take an answer. Yeah, Ghana or massa jaja. You say, Guru boys now, your pamo dodo now passport office, no, dodo now presidency, and the presidential Guru boys. Connection for Nkwa. Amamonu Koye. Samamu Koye, these things will never happen in the country. Because I will say, man, Mebune Juma, Momo Juma, realistically.
Are we to expect to set Dako, the National Communications Directorate of the NDC? A bit me Senebu Ababonte at the
Utie Oha Extreme Punk no Needs FM.